Hi guys, so today we're focusing on the base, so we're focusing on foundation. As you can see, my skin is nowhere near perfect. Got quite a lot of spots and redness, so, and then dry patches up here as well. All I've started with is a serum, so it's this one. It's the BeGlowcon Active Face Serum from FM. And I've just had this sitting on my skin for, I don't know, about 5 minutes-ish. So yeah, that's all I've got on at the moment. Obviously, face was cleansed when I had a bath. So I'm just gonna go in now with foundation. So, this is one of my favorite foundations. It is the L'Oreal True Match. And this in particular one is in the colour 1R/1C, which has got a cool undertone, and it doesn't actually have a shade name. I'm sure it used to be called Cool Ivory. I'm sure it did, but it doesn't say that anymore. It just says cool undertone. And I don't know if you can see, but you can, well, in person you can see sort of an iridescent kind of effect because it has got light reflecting particles in it, and it says it perfectly matches skin colour and texture, and it has got hyaluronic acid in it, which is good as well. My skin particularly responds well to hyaluronic acid, to the point where when I've found I've worn foundation, my skin's actually clearer afterwards, which I know isn't how it's supposed to be, but it works for me. So what I do, I was saying this to a friend the other day, I used to be quite sparing with foundation. I used to only put a little bit on and try and blend that out, but I've seen a few TikTok videos where people go completely over the top with their foundation, blend it out, and it actually, with the other products on top, looks really natural afterwards and it lasts longer. So I do that now. So basically, just going to start with 3 pumps on my hand, and I'm going to rub those together a little bit just to make sure it's on both hands, and then put it on my face basically. Try and avoid my tattooed eyebrows. Sometimes I don't manage to avoid them, and then it results in more cleanup afterwards, but try and avoid them. Let's see, got it over that bit. So at the moment it just looks a bit crazy, doesn't it? But that's okay. Okay, that's the main bulk of the foundation on. What I then do is I take a couple of wipes to wipe my hands, because nobody needs all that product on their hands. So now that that's on, I'm going to take an expert face brush, which is Real Techniques, and just sort of blend it out. As you can see, it's all blended out now. Then I'd like to take a wipe and remove it from the lips. But I do go over them a little bit, so they're not cakey though, you know, because if you leave that first layer, then it's a bit too thick for your lips. Then I go over my eyebrows with usually I use a Q-tip, but I haven't got any over here, and I'll just use a wipe, but then kind of have to go back over it anyway. But they've faded out so much now that I just go over it again with an eyebrow pencil anyway. And you can see here that I've still got yesterday's makeup didn't come off properly. That's okay, it's all right, it's okay. So yeah, that's it really. Then I go in with a powder, not really that fussed on powder. This one is the Rimmel Stay Matte powder in transparent, and it's just a powder. Going with a brush. This is a multitask brush. I think yesterday I used this one, which is a blush brush. Doesn't really matter, it's just a brush. I'll tap that into the product and then pat it onto the skin. The reason you want to pat rather than swipe is because you don't want the foundation to move with it. You want it to sort of get into the pores and crevices. Let's see, idea behind it anyhow. So that's what I do with that. I'm not too bothered about little blemishes showing through, like this spot here. If you are bothered, you can obviously chuck some concealer on. You probably want to chuck it on before the powder. Some people put it on before the foundation, but I think it's a good idea to leave it. We'll go in with it anyway, why not? So this is the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer in the shade Extra Fair. This does oxidise over time, and I've had it for a little while, so it is a bit more orange than it originally was. I'll just pop that on there. Like I said, I'm not too bothered about the odd spot for showing through because it's alright. But if you are, then you can obviously cover it up. The longer you leave it before you pat it out, the more coverage you're going to get, potentially. You can also use a cream product rather than a liquid one, which will give you more coverage. But kind of blends away into nothing, which is all good. So I'm going to take the same brush and powder, just going to tap that in again. Yeah, some people like to put their concealer on under their foundation, but then you end up using a lot more product because obviously you conceal more because nothing's covering. Whereas if you do it after your foundation, then you've already got some coverage there. My nose is really itchy today, I don't know why. So yeah, so that's the base essentially. Yeah, hope that helps, and yeah, I'll do some more if you want me to.